In 2019, the federal government of Nigeria closed down the landed border. This means that the then President Muhammadu Buhari, made an announcement that Nigeria will no longer be importing food, especially rice. So people were now depending on local farmers or our home farmers for their rice. There was no importation. If they caught anyone with rice, it would be seized and destroyed. So people were now complaining. By this time, I was into poultry production. So people were now complaining on Facebook. People were crying. Food is expensive. We can't get rice again. A mudu of rice that used to be 500 is now 2,000. Where can we get rice? Now, because I'm from Benue State, and in Benue we have a lot of rice, I saw that rice was cheap in Benue. But people that are in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja were complaining of this. They were crying. And I remember what the richest man in China, Jack Ma, once said. He said, when people are crying in a location, there is money in that environment. So I sat down, I said, if people are crying because of rice, and we have a lot of rice here in Benue, how can I make money from this product? So that was my mindset. I said, okay, though I'm into poultry, but this opportunity have presented itself, how can I make money from this business? So I went to the rice mill on that fateful day. I was there not for rice. I was there to pack the rice chaff, that is the rice husks, to come and spray for my bears, right? So I saw rice, clean, long grain. Then I asked the people that were selling this rice, I say, how much are you guys selling 25 kg? They told me. How much are you selling 50 kg? They told me. I said, okay, I took videos, make pictures. So I went back home. When I sat down, I went on Facebook and I wrote, I have rice for sale. And I posted the pictures and the videos that I made clean on my Facebook. Instantly, people reach out to me. People were like, can you supply to me in Lagos? I need 3 bags. I need 4 bags. In less than 30 minutes, I was able to make a solid profit of over 80,000 naira without even selling any rice. I didn't have the products, just that I knew where I could get it very cheap compared to what people are buying in Port Harcourt, compared to what people are buying in Lagos and other regions. So I used that opportunity and I started selling this rice on social media. I didn't have a shop. Nobody was coming to ask me, where's your shop? Where are you located? They just need rice because it was so expensive and not even available in most of the cities. People were willing to buy, but the rice was not there. So what happened was that I took opportunity of that and started making money. The money was instant. There was no need for me to wait for many months before. As I snapped the picture and I post, people send money. So when they sent money to me that day, I went back to the rice mill. So the guy I contacted that had a small destoning machine that could just remove only the stones, right? Because stones was one of the major problems that we were facing as at that time with our Nigerian rice. We didn't have the equipment to process rice in a good state yet as at that time. So people were now looking at what can we do, how are we going to get rice that is stone free since we cannot eat or we can't even find the foreign rice that is clean. So I was using those cries to make money. I made money in my house that day. I was surprised. I was like, so how many months or weeks does it take me to make money from my poultry? And I just snap picture of rice and I post. People that don't know me, people that don't even know whether I will scan them, I will not send them the rice, but they pay this money. They were desperate. They needed the rice instantly. And so I went back to the rice mill the next morning and I met the guy who was doing the destoning. I bought the rice from the local farmers, took it to this machine. The machine destoned the rice. As all the process I was recording, and I sent to all the people that bought rice from me on WhatsApp that this is the state of your rice, this is what we have now, and I sent the rice to them. And when they received, many of them sent back testimony. Oh, the rice is nice. We were thinking Nigerian rice is not good. Maybe it's because we have not been eating it. The taste is fine. There is no stone. It's long grain. I cooked the rice and it came out well. All these testimonies, I screenshot everything and posted back on Facebook. This was how the business blew. Many people started coming from the second day when I got the first testimonial of people that have received their rice or sent me videos. The business boomed for me. People were just coming, send me rice. I need 10 bags, I need 20 bags. To a point that sometimes I'll wake up, I'll stay in the rice mill from morning till night just to process rice. And this was how I was able to start my rice business. My rice business started simply because there was a market that was crying with money in their hand to give out to me, and I used that opportunity and I made a lot of money. Now, after that instance, I went further. I discovered that the Nigerian rice was not too excellent. Apart from the stones, the rice will come out with chaff, will come out with small sand that the machine could not pick. You know, many of the blackheads will be on this rice. So I started making research. How can I tackle this? How can I tackle this? It means I need to import high quality machines from China for me to be able to process rice that will meet up with the foreign rice standard, so that my customers, when they buy, there will be no difference with the foreign, except the local one is even more, because till today, Nigerian rice is the best. It tastes better than the foreign. Everyone knows this. The only challenge many people have is that maybe it's short grain and they want long grain. So it's not about the taste of the rice or the quality of the rice. Sometimes it could be the length of the grain. This is what people go for. And you know how funny we consumers are. Sometimes what we need, we don't even know what we need. We go for what our mind or our emotions predict that this is what we need. So I bought in my machine because the order I was having was so much. Sometimes I could get like 300 bags order. This was 2019, right? I could get like 200 bags order. And when I go to this guy, because the machine was very small and it was in a public rice mill, many other people too come with their orders. So the guy, sometimes he will have to bench my production and work for other people. And this was making me not to meet up with my customers. It was as if I'm lying. You know how when people pay money to you online, they just believe you want to scan them, you're lying. So it was hard for me to tell them that, okay, I went to rice factory today, we couldn't produce your rice, there was no space. Immediately they feel cheated. They believe, this guy have collected our money, he have used it to flex. So people were like, what is happening? We pay money since last week, you have not sent our rice. I have to refund money to few persons. But I was crying in my mind. This is money you are returning back. You're in business to make money. Now money has come. God has brought the money to you. Your capacity is low. Transform yourself and get to a place where you will not be afraid of capacity. You always meet up with what your customer needs. So that was when I bought my small machine. I bought a destoner, bought a dehuxer, bought a polisher machine. They were just basic components combined together. It was not fully automated, right? It was just different components combined together that could give us quality that was more than what the local rice mills were doing, because I bought a high quality destoner machine that could destone at 98%. Then some of them were doing destone at maybe 60% or 50%, but my machine was 98% destone. So I bought these machines. As at that time, I think it was around 3.something million or 4. So many years ago, then dollar was just about 200 and something naira to $1. Unlike now, it's 1,005, right? So if you are doing your comparison, you know that as at that time, that 3 million was big money. It was a huge amount of money that you can use to do jackpot. For those of you that love jackpot, travel abroad, I would have used the money to travel abroad. But I used the money to buy those machines. So when those machines came, I set up my rice processing factory. I rented the space, right? I didn't have money to build or let me say build my own factory. So I rented a small batcher. You know batcher, if you're in Nigeria, you know what we call batcher. I rented a small batcher, installed my machines there, and I was producing rice. Now, even at that, the orders that were coming in were still above my capacity. Somebody will say, can you supply 1 truck every day? The factory was not up to that. We couldn't produce that. The machine will get burnt. Because if you want to run it 24 hours, the machine will definitely get destroyed. So the order was still above what I could do. Now, I want you to pay attention, because this was the point where I also made a grave mistake. And these are the mistakes. There are 5 mistakes that I made during the process of setting up this rice processing factory that I want you not to make. If you are going into rice processing, which is profitable, this video is a master class for you. You have to settle down and pay attention, because I built one of the biggest factory in Benue State, and also among North Central, or let me say Middle Belt. I have the biggest. So what I'm telling you here is a master class. You have to pay attention. pick the points and work on them so that you will not make my same mistake. So what I did was that I knew the only way I can meet up is to upgrade my machines. So I knew, okay, the money I needed, I did my survey, did everything. I was needing over, as at that time, over close to 100 million or 200 million, yes, to set up the kind of factory that I needed that can compete globally with everything fully automated. I was needing over 220 something million naira to set up that factory. So even at that, I could raise that funds because God have blessed me with that. I know how to raise money. That one was not an issue for me. But I knew that I wanted to start a bit small, or let me say faster, so that I can grow. Because as at this time, we're approaching December season. So you know how festive season is. The demand for rice increase and many other things. So I wanted to make sure I make money during that season. So I didn't want to depend on, okay, let me raise all the money that I need to set up, buy land, build the factory and everything. So I put out a content. Many people are now reaching out to me. We want to invest with you. Can we invest in the rice? We want to be making money with you because I'm an open guy. I don't lie. So I was able to share on my Facebook. This is an opportunity. Maybe in your state, you also have rice. Use your social media, market your rice. This is how much I'm making per bag. I was open that way. So many people now reach out to me that if you're making this amount per bag, we want to invest in that business. And I was also complaining, like trying to educate, not complain, but trying to educate people that our rice is good if only we invest in quality machines. So many people reach out to me that what kind of machines do we need? We want to invest in those machines. So this was the mistake I made. 5 terrible mistakes that I made that I don't want you to make. Now I knew that, okay, I can raise funds. So the number 1 mistake I made was that I raised the wrong kind of funds. Because these people that were coming to me were selfish people, or let me say not selfish, but people that will need their money quick. Because they knew that since I could just pick rice today, sell today and make profit, this is what they need. They don't want to invest their money in stock market, the Nigerian stock market, that will keep their money for long and be paying them a penny. Maybe you invest 1 million, you're getting $3 or 3 naira per day, or 3 naira per month, or sometimes even you will not even get anything. So they saw those investment rights, but that one will not give them the money they need. But this rice, you just buy today, sell today, you make huge profit. So it's a big investment opportunity for them. So they started giving me money. And I collected the money because I also knew that I can make that profit and be able to pay them. Now, when you want to raise money, you have to look at long-term perspective of your business. It's not just about you raising the money to invest and make profit. Many people make this mistake, not just about investing in rice, but many other projects. Because you can keep birds today and sell them in the next 6 weeks, does not mean you should raise money from someone and promise the person that when you sell at week 6, you give them back their profit and capital. It's a huge mistake. You don't have to do that because you're building a business. And sometimes there are many projects that you invest into that you will not make profit in 1 year. So when I raise this fund, I raise a lot of money that I don't want to mention so that some people will not feel bad. Some people believe that it's very hard to raise money. Money is not in Nigeria. So when you mention money, they feel attacked. They start looking at their age. I'm 70 years. I've never made 1 million. And this stupid boy say he made $2 million. So let's not mention the money. But I was able to raise big money for that project. Now what I did was that the money was wrong. Why? Because rice processing business is capital intensive, and you are going to invest in assets, and these assets will not start giving you money quickly. They will not give you money in 2 years. You bought land. I think I bought 1 hectare where my factory was, and I fenced everything. Now the money I spent on buying that land was the money I raised. The money I spent on fencing the place was the money I raised. The money I spent on building the factory, a very large structure, was the money I raised. The machines I bought from China was heavy. I paid a lot of money for that machines. So that kind of project means I will not be able to make profit in 1 day. When I did my calculation, I will need to run that factory for at least 1 year, 12 solid months, back to back every day at full capacity for me to start making pure net profit. So from day one, I can sell one bag and make profit. But that is not profit. That is the mistake that I made. That is just gross profit. It's called gross profit in accounting. It's not net profit. It's only net profit that you can use it to enjoy yourself or invest in expanding your business. You don't pick gross profit and say you have made profit. So the funds are raised. People were now expecting the next 3 months, this guy will give us our profit and our capital. And I promise that. Lack of wisdom, right? Lack of sense. I promise that. So at the end of the day, we made profit, but if we want that business to go further, if you pay that money, the business will suffer. So the number one mistake, raising the wrong kind of funds, is bad for your business. Not all money are good. People will come with desperation. I need something that will give me my money quick. I don't answer those people. Now, I have grown. My mind has been transformed to a level, very high level, that when you come with that kind of mindset, I don't want to tie my money down. I know that this is a problem investor coming here. Sometimes I will not answer you. I will not even respond to that message. You can't come to once you see the word business, stop looking at quick. When you look at quick return, just know it's quick to also lose your money. That is a fact. So that was one of the mistakes I made when I was setting up my rice processing factory. And then another mistake I made was that I should have partnered with other rice processors instead of setting up my own rice processing plant. I know this was my dream of getting my own processing plant. So, but I think I went into it too fast. So what I would have done was that there were other few rice processing factories in Benue State that had good machines. Even though processing with them was difficult, because many times they also have their own orders. They want to finish their own first before they could do yours. But at the end of the day, their quality was higher because they have good machines. Even though their machine was not to compete with my own, I studied their machines and brought in machines that were higher than their own, right? But I would have partnered with their own long term. And not even just limit myself in Benue State. We have these machines in Kano. It's recent that I know. We have some of these machines in Jos, in Niger State, in Kebbi State. I would have gone to those places, partner with those guys. You have this machine, have a written agreement where I can even buy off your factory for a period of amount. I have the money. I could give you, okay, collect this $50,000. Give me this factory for 1 month. Why the other money that I raised, I would have bought enough paddy, process the paddy, and sell. Now the little money the little profit I've made from that, I don't have overhead costs, buy diesel, buy gas, all those things wouldn't have been there, pay staff. My own is to bring in my bags, right? So the money I use in building the factory, I would have used the money to produce quality bags. Like I said before, this is a master class on rice processing factory. If you want to go into it in Nigeria, I want you to know that consumers value the quality of your bag more than the rice. So I would have used that money that I bought machines from China to produce high quality bags from China, and then look for a rice factory that have the quality machines that I need, partner with them to package my rice, get my NAFDAC number, get my SON number, get all the certification, and start selling my rice. So I would have been at the end of marketing, which I've mastered. I would have been marketing this rice instead of running my brain off how many staff do we need in the processing factory, going to villages to source for paddy. All of this I would have washed my hand off it, focus on packaging my rice in quality sack. Because when I did this, at the end of the day, I couldn't buy the high quality sacks that I need. So my quality of bag was not to compete with the kind of foreign bag. Because people in Nigeria, mostly, they don't care about the quality of the rice. It's a hard truth. I'm sorry to be saying this on air, but it's the truth. When they go to buy rice, they look at the quality of the bag first. There are many brands of rice that I can call now that their quality of rice is not good compared to what I'm selling currently. But people still buy their rice ahead of mine because they are selling in a quality bag. The bag is very bright. The bag is shiny. So people love bling bling. They will just pay. They will take the rice home, even if it's not fine. As long as the bag is fine, they are okay. It's a hard reality. So I would have focused on what? Processing rice with other factory instead of building my own. Because the money it cost me to build my own, it was a long-term money, and the money I raised was for short-term. So I would have invested in a short-term project turnover where I can make money easily. So if you're watching this video, you have a plan, you want to go into rice processing factory, this is a master class for you. Focus on getting quality bags. You can print them from China. You can print them in Kano. We have companies in Kano that produce bags. You can maybe print in Lagos, I don't know, but definitely we'll have there. If you can print it abroad in China, high quality, it will be good for you. So bring in your high quality bags instead of high quality machines if you want to make money. But if you don't want to make money, you want to use emotions, bring in the machines and suffer. So another mistake, this is the third mistake I made, was that I imported the machines from the wrong port. This is also what I'm not supposed to share on air, because in Nigeria and Africa, we are sentimental, we are emotional people. When you say the truth, people feel attacked. So if I mention your state or your region here, you feel attacked that maybe I'm insulting you, but it's a reality that happened to a small business owner in Africa who was trying to grow, make a global impact, help farmers. This is what I'm sharing with you. So don't be offended, just take it. I'm not a politician, I don't like what they are doing, being it from North, Central or what, right? So I imported my machine from River State Port, Onne Port. If you're in River State, you know Onne very well. So as at that time, I've never done importation before. So this was my first time. So the Chinese company that was to send my machine asked me, which of the ports do I want them to send the machine? Is it Apapa in Lagos or Onne in Port Harcourt? So to my small mind, or let me say an intelligent mind, I say, okay, from Port Harcourt to Benue State is shorter than Lagos to Benue. So if the machine comes from Port Harcourt, I'll spend less to bring the machines to my factory. By this time, I built my factory, everything was set. So I said they should bring it to Port Harcourt. Not knowing that Port Harcourt, getting your goods from there is always hard. I have people there. A very good friend is there. So they tried their possible. When the machine got there, for them to release my container, the machine stayed there for 2 weeks. Or let me say a month. And for you that are into importation, you know that when they import, or let me say the company send you their container, if the container stay longer, you're paying money for that container. I don't want to be using those terminologies, but some of you know that if you keep the container longer than what they expect, every week you're paying. So as at that time, I was paying 245,000 every week for that container. So the container stayed there for a month and weeks. I was paying 245,000. As at that time, it was big money. And remember, this money I've raised to do business quick. That will give me profit sharp. I was now using it to dump because of machines. And then why were they holding the machine? There was no reason. Because based on Nigerian law, as at that time, agricultural machines were tax-free. They were not supposed to tax me 1 kobo. But I paid money aside for the container. I also paid over 2.something million naira before that machine was released. I have to cry, pray. I fasted and prayed for 3 days. Because they will just wake up one day and tell me, your machine network was bad. Oga is not in the office to sign the clearance. Ink has finished. Silly excuse. If you're in Nigeria, you know this, you're into importation, you know what I'm saying. They were just giving excuses that does not make any sense to any human being. So at the end of the day, they released my machine. Now, before they released the machine, those guys in Port Harcourt, you know the road is very bad. I've been in Port Harcourt recently. That road from LMS Junction down to where to the port, the place is very bad, the road. So the youth there protested. This information is online, you can Google and see it. They protested, shut down the whole road, that government must fix the road, that the road is too bad, people are having accidents, and this is where money is coming in for federal government, so they should fix the road. So the protest was ongoing, and the factory the port have to shut down. I was just crying because as the port was down, those Chinese companies were still charging me money for their containers. It's none of their business. It's how Nigerian government that does not do what it's supposed to do. So I was still paying money for that. So when they released this container, because I have to settle some of their organ, that is the truth. They told me that. So when they released the machine, I was not asking. They told me that, hey, I made a mistake. Normally, the Nigerian people, Lagos. There the clearance is easy, even though it's more congested. I say, oh my God, I didn't know. So if you want to go into it, this is another expo. Don't use River State port. I'm not discouraging you. Someone will feel like maybe you are trying to say River State is bad or no. I'm just sharing with you what happens to me. Maybe it have not happened to other people, but I'm just telling you that that is what they told me. That you see this port, Nigerian government does not want this port to work. They prefer the one in Lagos. So next time, bring your goods from Lagos. You will receive it easily. I don't know if it is true, but I experienced long delay for nothing. There was no excuse there. I paid everything. Network is bad. Our guy is not in the office. The boys are protesting. Everything. At the end of the day, we got the machines. Very late. Very, very late. And by this time, my debts were accumulating. That I was supposed to be doing business to pay was accumulating. Then the fourth one is I depended on petrol. And as at that time, petrol was very cheap. We could buy petrol for, say, 100 and something naira per liter. You know, diesel was 150 per liter. Then before you know, everything increased. So where my factory was, they have light in that community, but the light, they were able to step down the light so that I can connect to my factory. So I was using petrol. I was spending over 3 million weekly. 3 million weekly on petrol alone. That was my budget for that. Because we were running the machine 24 hours most times. Sometimes we're running 20 hours a day. We just off it small and then continue because we have a lot of work to do. And then I was trying to make sure I cover up what I've lost. So I discovered that if you want to go into rice processing, power source is very important. If you are not going to have steady light, then what is another alternative? It was after I brought the machines that I said, okay, if only I knew the money I use, I bought a generator over 7 million at that time. I would have used that money to maybe bring in solar that is bigger. Solar might be costlier than that, but would I be able to power and I spend less and I make more profit? So you should always be looking at solar to supplement or generator or NEPA. Just have like 3 power source if you want to run it successfully, especially in Nigeria where we don't have steady power. You understand what I mean by that? And another mistake I made was that I did not understand my competitors, let me say, enough. Because you'll be thinking your competitors are the foreign rice, right? But they are not. My competitor was a local woman that was producing rice using simple machines in the village. She was my competitor because at the end of the day, people in Nigeria where we don't have a lot of money, they could eat anything that is available. So if the rice has stone, the man can buy it, they will settle down and the family and select it. So I was coming with high quality. It means that my rice can only serve a small market. And that small market is the rich. And the rich are not more populated in Nigeria than the poor. So if you are going into business that is to serve the Nigerian market, be looking at what the poor can afford. Be looking at what it will cost you less to produce. The cost of production in my factory was very high because of the kind of machines we are using. But when the rice gets to the market, majority of people care less about the quality. As long as it's rice that they will eat, that hunger will leave their stomach, they are okay. So this was another challenge. I did not study them. So when I discovered that, what I did was that I said, okay, since this is the challenge, I shut down some part of my machine. I was buying rice from the local rice mill, just color sorting, water polishing everything and selling. So my production cost was now normalized. I started making profit. So these are the challenges I faced or the mistake I made in setting up that rice processing factory. Now someone will be like, how is it possible to make 20-something million every day from a rice processing factory? Yeah, right. So let me show you. I was making our target was minimum of 3,000 naira per bag of rice, and I was processing 300 bags per day. So if you do your calculation, 3,000 times 300, that is over 900,000. Multiply that by 7, then multiply by 4. You know how much I make in a month. So that was how much my rice processing factory was making. Even though it was not fully automated, we are looking at maybe we'll get a dryer parabolic machine, which I will also explain in another video for people that want to go into rice processing, what they should do, the kind of machines they should buy. So these were the mistake I made, and I believe they have helped someone who wants to go into processing. It could be rice, it could be gari, any other product. These things are the same. Consider your packaging, consider your power source, consider your competitors, give us quality, and that quality should be affordable by everybody in Nigeria at all class. That is how you make money. So thank you so much for watching. If you have gotten value from this video, why not like, then share this video so that other people who might also want to go into this business will not make the mistake. Thank you so much for this community. I love you guys all. Stay blessed and stay connected. I remain Dennison, your billionaire farmer.